Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome to a new Steel Division League cast. We have Steel Division 2, of course, soloing Pixy up against Lossa. And I'm really excited to see this match because it's more of the Western Front than the Eastern Front. And we have the UK in this match. Obviously, I'm from the UK, so I do like to see the UK now and then. This is the first time I think we're seeing it in a Steel Division League, certainly a Season 2 match. Lossa are playing the 15th Scottish Infantry. So the matchup itself, we have soloing Pixy on the left-hand side in blue, playing the 21st Panzer on Maverick income. And then we have a Lossa on the right hand side in red, playing the 15th Scottish Infantry on balanced income. So a very interesting matchup. I imagine soloing Pixie's chosen the Maverick income because he's going to have the Koenigs Tigers in B phase. So he's going to use that 180 points of income in B phase to bring out those Koenigs Tigers. But Maverick against balanced, well, soloing Pixie's going to need to finish the game off before C phase, or certainly before around 25-26 minutes, because after that point, Lossa's huge 90 point a minute income advantage comes into play. And yeah, if the game goes very long, soloing Pixie is going to be in trouble. Let's have a look at soloing Pixie's deck. 21st Panzer, let's look for those Koenigs Tigers. Yes, 2 cards in B, 4 Koenigs Tigers in total. Will he buy all 4 in B phase? That will be interesting to see. Koenigs Tiger after Koenigs Tiger come out onto the field. Interesting as well, a lot of light recon vehicles in A phase. 6 SDKFZ 250/9s, 6 SPW 233s, and looks like there's a big force in that southern side at the moment sitting there for soloing Pixie. Shh, you didn't hear that. So interesting. What else do we have? Well, 53 infantry units in total. That is not a lot of infantry. And if you look at the A phase infantry, we've got 18 Urzat Strupen and only 8 pioneers. Wow. Upvetted pioneers at 1 star. I imagine maybe soloing Pixie's going to bring out the U304 Commander to provide the upvets to the Pioneer Führer to make those pioneers 3-star pioneers, because I'm not quite sure why you take them 1 star and just lose that, you know, lose those 2 units of pioneers. I mean, it might not sound like much, but they're like the best infantry he has in A phase, and actually no infantry AT in A phase. But then, you know, the Scottish infantry, their tanks are very slow to the field, so we probably won't see them on the front line till like towards the end of A phase anyway. Tank wise, we got the Shermans, 2-star vetted Shermans in A phase, so he's using those early and will be key to see how well they do. I think they will be the thrust of his A phase push, and I think he's going to want to push in A phase as well. He has a fair amount of AA. He's got the Flak 41s. He does have some off maps as well as a Rheinwerfer and the JU88S1. Let's have a look at Lossa's deck. Well, the 15th Scottish Infantry. We don't see a lot of them, but yeah, I am from the UK, so a bit of national pride here, seeing them on the battlefield and being played by a Frenchman. Very interesting. And so what do we have? We have a hell of a lot of rifles, although, you know, not a massive amount of rifles. 93 units of infantry. I mean, that's probably normal. But 2 cards in C phase, 48 units of rifles in C phase. We've got some Honey Stewarts in A phase, some Humbers, some Daimler armoured cars. We've got a lot of 6-pounders and a lot of 17-pounders, very good AT guns. The 15 Scottish infantry get very good AT guns, the 6-pounders and 17-pounders, very good units. We also see some Typhoons. They're going to be key to take on the Koningstiger. And I wonder whether Lossa actually picked the 15th Scottish Infantry as a counter pick here, because it actually looks like a decent, you know, counter to the 21st Panzergrenadiers. You get a lot of infantry. It counters the low infantry of the 21st Panzer. You get some great AT guns. It counters the tanks. You get the Typhoons. It counters the Königstigers. I genuinely think Lossa's picked a good division here to take on the 21st Panzer. Let's see how he does. The game is underway. We already have a deployment in the centre from Solo and Pixy. It looks like he's making a rush across the southern bridge of all places, and it's Lossa rushing across the northern side. And no, it looks like he's going into for a defensive position. So it's all about the southern push for Solo Wing Pixy. He has the Pioneer Fuhrer in. He has the Erzatstruppen unloading. He has the Flammenwerfers. There is a Churchill 6 that has made it up on top of the hill, as well as a 6-pounder up there. Crew kill down onto the 250/9. That's going to hurt with that lack of infantry support. We do have a Humber Mark IV in there as well, and that's going to take rapid fire aim at all of this infantry unit. Loader kill onto the 250/9. That one goes down as well from the Humber Mark IV, I think. Beautiful positioning of the 6-pounder, able to shoot completely down that road. Fantastic positioning. But Neff has made it into this southern town. He has got the flag. He's going to need reinforcements in there to help him hold, because he has lost a lot of units pushing over that bridge, but he does have the bridgehead that he so wanted. In the northern side, Lossa has pushed in for the defence up in this northern area. Does have the rifles, is sneaking a flag up top. It's 12:12 on the clock right now. And for me, it's all about this southern side. We have some Panzer M4s, the M4 captured Shermans. Oh, a Vickers HMG in here now. Just going ahead and hitting all of that infantry. And a lot of these Erzatstruppen are being forced to you know, retreat here, which is one of the problems with this Erzatstruppen. We've got a Churchill 4 firing, as well as a Humber Mark IV on top of this ridgeline, and it looks like Lossa is able to hold off the push so far. We've got a command carrier zipping around through this town as well with the Brenngren on it, trying to target these infantry. We do have a Pak 3850 just, you know, starting to make its way up, but it's not going to be in a great position there. It'd be better if Solo Pixy did get a unit in here, but I don't think Loss is going to push off that hill. He is going to push forward the Humber eventually, but yeah, I think Lossa has recaptured the flag. He is still on a 12-12, so Solo and Pixy has managed to recapture the northern position as well, but it looks like that southern bridgehead may have failed, and that is a disastrous loss for Solo and Pixy. Can he get the reinforcements in time? He has no infantry AT to take out the command carrier, so that thing can zip around and do a lot of damage. Oh, the Pak 38, yes, it is changing position, and that is, I think that's the right call. I thought it was kind of odd that it was moving into that spot, but it is now changing position. Solo Pixy does pick up the flag after the rifles look like they're retreating, but there's more coming forwards once again. These Erzatstruppen are just under so much fire from the HE shells of the Churchill and the Humber Mark IV that they're just constantly having to fall back under suppression. The Flammenwerfers pop smoke. I think that's kind of to try and help the Shermans advance. But the Shermans are now starting to get their exceptional infantry fire support to bear onto these rifles. Big shots going down from the Humber onto the infantry in the water as well, crossing the river by foot, after having fallen back over the river. And look how far these Erzatstruppen are falling back, just constant Churchill fire. This Churchill has been absolutely magnificent. Let's have a look at the HE shells. 6 rounds are in it, only 1 damage, but it's just been constant HE fire onto those infantry units. I actually think the Humber has done the biggest job here. It's used 19 of its 20 HE shells, 7 rounds a minute. Doesn't have as much damage, but the constant fire from these two units has been exceptional. Up in the northern side, we still have some skirmishers going across the river. It looks like we're going for an infantry assault now from soloing Pixy. And the Humber is now moving forward, so I think Lossa was holding that Humber up to in case there was any infantry kind of crossing of the river up here. It needs to be careful though. There is a Pack 3850. That Humber could go down, but it's definitely providing a hell of a lot of fire support right now. I actually like the Panzer M4. I don't know whether it can get through here because it may well be swamp, so it might be able to just get on the edge. But yeah, that Humber's going to have free fire, at least for a while. Ooh, we have a Churchill 6 now engaging again from distance onto infantry. Lossa looks like he's holding fairly well. I think this southern side is quite key for soloing Pixy. Can he get reinforcements into this southern position? We do have a Brumbar coming forwards. Oh, the 6-pounder does take out the half track, but being engaged by infantry units, and that unit may go down. The Honey Stewart moving up though, and that has nothing to really oppose it. So it is going to be able to use the 2 Browning machine guns to good effect here, as well as the HE shells, and really pin down the Panzergrenz, as well as the Humber Mark IV as well. Up in the northern side, oh, soloing Pixy has managed to get pioneers across the river. There's only 4 of them left here. Could do with, if these rifles go down, he's going to have a much better time, but we do have some Daimler armoured cars rushing in now, and I haven't seen 15th Infantry Scots being played in a long while, but these armoured cars, the Honey Stewarts, the Humbers, they're doing really well. Typhoon rocket strike there onto the Panzergrenz, just to hold them back from this centre ground. That should actually let soloing Pixy know that Lossa feels vulnerable in this central area, but he still has a lot there. He does still have a lot there. The others that Strupen pushing across do go down. The Panzer M4 is also trying to provide that fire support as well onto their Vickers HMG, and also the rifles. Another rocket attack coming in onto the MG42. We're almost into B phase now, but remember, soloing Pixy on Maverick income, not Vanguard income. The Sherman is, however, gun jammed to the 6-pounder, and yeah, soloing Pixy will get the majority of income now from B phase onwards, or after another minute's time. Down goes the Stuart. I think that was a shot from the Panzer M4 there. What is soloing Pixy going to do though? Because it seems like he has more forces in this northern side. I feel like he's going to push for a northern attack rather than try and cement his bridgehead in the south. This Churchill has just been such a problem in this southern area. But it's just too far out of line of sight, or out of the next key position that, you know, soloing Pixy could put an AT gun in. I think soloing Pixy is going to concentrate on this northern side now. If he can make a bridgehead in the north, perhaps Lossa will concentrate all of his forces on the north, and then maybe soloing Pixy can gradually rebuild forces in the south. But I think it's going to be his northern area that he's going to really push for. Looks like he's up vetting the flak 4188 mil. I think he will have brought that in after the 2 rocket attacks in the centre ground. He's going to try and at least give that 1-star veterancy to help him out. Ozat's Truppen are pushing across the open. And we have got some movement in the north as well. More Erzatstruppen pushing across the open. I think one of the Daimler armoured cars has gone down, but the other one is still in here. The thing with these Daimler armoured cars is, as it does get destroyed by the Panzer 4G up here on the ridge, on the top of the ridge, and actually a really interesting position up here. So yeah, you could stick a nice heavy tank up here. It's got a little bit of line of sight onto this reinforcement road. But Solomon Pixy has managed to get troops into the northern side. He does have a 13-11 against Lossa. Has had it for a little while now. 25 minutes left on the clock until he reaches victory. And we are now into B phase. He does have the 180 points a minute advantage. But playing against balanced, you know, Lossa, you know, he's only 40 points a minute behind. So it's not like a Maverick versus Vanguard situation where the, you know, it's 70 points or 60 points extra. So some assault pioneers coming into this central position with the flamers, the Lifeboy flamethrower, and easily dispatching the Erzatstruppen there. The Vickers HMG also cutting off any movement by the Erzatstruppen. Solomon Pixy keeping that Panzer 4G in that same position. The other Diamond armor car did go down as we covered that engagement. No real movement in the south. We have had some reinforcing assault pioneers. The Brumbar looks like it's engaging. Wow, it's engaging the 6-pounder. I think he's actually doing a, what's the word? He's targeting the ground there. He's actually doing a self-manual target order to try and find that 6-pounder. But he's slightly off on its positioning. Interesting engagement. Back up to the northern side. Oh, Solomon Pixy has snuck the flag here. 14-10 now. But still has 23 minutes to hold on. And that's going to give Lossa wow, as I do slow maths. That's going to give Lossa about 15 minutes of C phase income. So 15 minutes of 90 points extra a minute. That's around 1,500 points extra Lossa is going to get over Solo Wing Pixy. 2 Typhoon strikes into that southern side. It looks like Lossa's advancing forwards with the assault pioneers and the rifles. He's trying to pick up the flag once again, and I think he's going to do it. The units are pinned down here after those rocket strikes. Lovely Typhoon rocket strikes from Lossa. Very good, very good. And the assault pioneers do pick up the flag back to a 13-11. Lossa just has to recover this one flag in the north, and he could just literally hop this rifles a couple of buildings and he would have that flag. He would have the 12-12. So, you know, Solo Pixy, oh, he does pick up a central flag though. Does pick up a central flag, and the Panzergren surely are going to move across the road here. But Lossa pushing forwards the M5 half track with the Browning 30 cal on it. Track's broken down onto the Churchill, but it's still a big threat. The 6-pounder holding fire, but we do have a Königsteiger in here. A Königsteiger has come into reinforcement. We have got a Königsteiger going into the northern side as well. So, are the Königsteigers going to thrust Solo and Pixy forwards to victory? Look at this Panzer 4G. It has pushed forwards, but is being hit by the 6-pounder in this position. This, I've noticed in the last few casts, this kind of position here is loved by the top players, and the reason in there is it just fires down the reinforcement roads just down here. So to counter that, you know, a position in this forest here, you know, can counter that. One of the SDK said 250/9s has been bailed out. There is an AOP carrier coming in here, and I predict a big off-map strike coming down onto this area any minute now, probably in about 30 seconds time. The Konix Tiger has made it over the river. There's a lot of armoured support. Solo and Pixy is pushing more forwards in this southern side once more. The Churchill has gone down. The SPW 231 is making its way forwards. There's no AT on the infantry, and that is something that the Scots do lack. They don't carry AT on their main infantry units. The Humber is still there, but Lossa's going to have to find a way to get rid of that Konix Tiger. And I imagine it's going to be a Typhoon attack, but I can't remember that's in A or B phase. Sorry, A or B phase? B or C phase. So he does have 2 Typhoons in B phase and 2 Typhoons in C phase, the AT rocket variants, that are going to be key to taking out these Konix Tigers. So we're going to have to look out for those strikes coming in. The Konix Tiger has come up onto the hill. The off map, has that come down? Looks like it has come down. And Lossa pushing forwards with the engineers leaders. They have 4 HE grenades. Wow. So he's going to use those in his main advance. And actually, not necessarily a bad choice here. Can Lossa... Oh, Solo picks it up to 59 now. So he has taken this central flag. He has pushed Panzergrenz across the river. In the south, he has picked up the flag as well. And in the north, he's got that northern flag. So Solo Pixy is up to a 59. Halves the timer left on the clock. 8 minutes 23 left for Solo Wing Pixy to gain victory. He has brought in an SDKFZ 7-1 and a Flak 41 88mm to cover off against any air attacks coming in onto that Konix Tiger. I'm surprised we haven't seen a 17 pounder. We've got 17 and a 6 pounder. It looks like we've got a force looking waiting for Lossa to reinforce. I'm kind of surprised we haven't had a 17 pounder come into this forest. But Solo Wing Pixy is being careful to keep his Konix Tiger back and only firing, you know, at that ridgeline. Whereas Lossa is careful to not come straight down this ridgeline. I think he's realised we do have a Churchill 4 now coming into that position. The Panzer M4 does kill the Humber. It is going to take out the engineer leader as well. Do we have another infantry unit in there? There is a command carrier. Oh god, it's this command carrier here, hiding literally right behind the building. But for some reason, yeah, the icon's sort of hidden. Oh, in comes the first Typhoon. Wow! Oh, but it does go down to the SDKFZ 7-1 and the Flak 41. Took out the Panzer M4 and his own AOP carrier and his engineer leader in that attack. Talk about danger close. That was a high risk engagement, and well, I guess he got rid of the Sherman, but he did lose out his leaders. Those engineer leaders must have called in that airstrike on top of themselves. Talk about brave. Talk about brave. They are the Scottish. They are probably one of the bravest nations in the entire world, and that's coming from an Englishman. Okay, so we've got a Panzer 4H did go down here. There is an AEC Mark III coming in as well. The Konix Tiger, that thing's backing off in the midst of an off map, and if this one Flammenwerfer goes down, then the flag is going to switch back to Lossa. So Lone Pixie still at a 59. I think he's targeting the centre area now. We have got a Konix Tiger who's come into the centre. So it's a Konix Tiger for every flank right now. The left flank, the right flank, the centre flank. Is it a flank? It still counts. It's in the centre. We've got a Konix Tiger there. And I think Lossa has to get rid of these Konix Tigers. I think it's the key supporting unit. We'll load a knockout onto one of the central ones. Not quite sure what will have... Surely it wasn't the Honey Stewart that got that loader knockout. That would have been outrageous. I don't know what hit that loader knockout. We do have the first artillery piece coming in here. the BL 5.5 inch 140 mil howitzer. Is that not a 25 pounder? Why is it just me because it doesn't say 25 pounder? It's thrown me. I'm pretty sure that's a 25 pounder. Finally, the Flammenwerfer has gone down. Ooh, the 25 pounder, focusing on the pack 3850. I hope it is now, and I'm not. What's the word? Making a mistake. I don't know. This 17 pounder, where is it going? It's is that going to survive? Somehow it's going to survive that route. I think he's looking for a side shot, hopefully onto one of the Königstigers. I mean, that's probably my bet. I would probably put a 17 pounder into this. In fact, I'm kind of surprised he didn't put it in this forest here, because that Königstiger, the only place it's going to go is forwards. So at least you're going to get a decent side shot. I mean, I would be looking for a 17 pounder in here to go for a side shot this way, and then a 17 pounder maybe up here to go for a side shot that way, and just wait for that Königstiger to push forward. That is probably the best bet right now. Maybe you could sneak a 17 pounder. In fact, that is exactly what he's doing with this one. I would also like to try and sneak a 17 pounder down through this forest, because that would be a pretty decent position as well. But there are a few guns in that position. It looks like the command carrier push forwards. Lossa is pushing rifles in there now. We are into C phase. He does have the main advantage. He has picked this flag up once again, which is hot, you know, giving him some time back. There's 9 minutes left on the clock for Lossa to hold on. 9 minutes left on the clock for Solo and Pixy to pick up the win. Interestingly, only one unit of Pioneers down here, and then one man on his own. Oh, we do have reinforcing Panzergrenz. Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed. Look at the Churchill 4 and the Königstiger are kind of, they're in a bit of a standoff here, both outside each other's range. I'm kind of surprised the Königstiger isn't pushing forwards to try and take out that Churchill, because although that Churchill has the 175, ooh, Lossa's pushing forwards, so he's going to go for the engagement onto that Königstiger. We have got 2 rocket strikes coming into this centre. I'm anxious to see what's going to happen in this southern area. The 2 rocket strikes heading on to the infantry in here. Solo Pixie does pick up the flag, going to a 16-8, picks up this one once again. 3 minutes 30 left on the clock right now. Is Lossa going to be able to hold on? This is going to be tough. This is going to be very close. This Churchill looks like it's in range, but it is not firing. Very surprising. Lossa is pushing forwards though with all of his infantry through the buildings, and there isn't a great deal of fire support here. He does have the AA vehicles, but we do have some motorized rifles in now, and these do have the Piats. So these do have the Piats with 200 meter range, so they can take out these AA vehicles. Oh, the Churchill and the Königstiger are engaging now. Bounce. It looks like the Churchill's going to come off worse. Yeah, I think it took a bad hit early on. So Lossa is reversing that one back. Over to the northern side once again. Solo and Pixie is managing to break through. I feel like Solo and Pixie is managing to break through here. There's 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, and the number of infantry units breaking through really means Lossa's going to struggle to get back that flag. He's going to have to get a flag elsewhere. I think in the centre ground we might be able to see a flag captured. The Königstigers, yeah, I think that's what Lossa's going for with the Crocodile. If he could just push one infantry unit up there, he could capture that flag. In the southern side, Solo and Pixie is engaging with the Gepard and the SDKF Z71. He's trying to use them. Oh, does take out the Humber with those 420 mils. The 17 pounder is engaging the Königstiger, and that can, it's going to struggle at that range, but it can penetrate. It does have a chance. Down in the southern side, I think this is key for Lossa. If he can win this southern side, he can at least bring a flag back. 1 minute 40 left on the clock. This is very tight. I still think Lossa has the opportunity to get this one back, but it is very, very tight. This is going to be incredibly tight. Can Lossa push forwards here? The Königstiger has... Oh, is it... No, the Crocodile's being engaged by the Pack 3850. in the southern side, Lossa, he's almost got through the infantry. The Gepard has took damage. The SDK-7-1, they are backing off. There's just one unit of Panzergrenz in here. In comes an SPW-231. If Lossa can get rid of those Panzergrenz, he can pick the flag back up. The 17-pounder still engaging. We have another 17-pounder. It's a 6-pounder, sorry. Engaging with that Königstiger. Yeah, the Churchill is now moving forward. He's going to try and combine arms. He's going to try and use the 6-pounder, the 17-pounder, and the Churchill all to engage that Königstiger on the southern side. Off map into the northern side, but this one's coming from the Bayo UE 630F, and there goes the surrender, I think. Yes, or was it even the victory timer? It was probably the victory timer. 26 minutes 2 seconds. Congratulations to Solo Wing Pixy, picks up the victory against Lossa. 1,700 kills to 1,900 losses, so actually trades worse than Lossa in that game, and I think that showed how tight that game was. If Lossa had maybe another 5 minutes, I think he could have come back there. But Solo Wing Pixy did a phenomenal job. I think in A phase, I was very much doubting the ability for Solo Wing Pixy to win that game, so he did a fantastic job in B phase, and I think those Königstigers were key at being able to just force his way back across that southern river and hold on for the victory. Fantastic job there from Solo Wing Pixy. Let's have a look at the kills for Solo Wing Pixy. Panzer M4 here picks up 2 Daimler armored car kills and a command carrier kill. Another Panzer M4 picking up the Honey Stewart kill. Pack 3850 picking up a Humber, 2 half-tracks and a Churchill kill. I think a lot of the infantry seem to trade 1 for 1. The Königstiger picked up 1 Churchill kill. That was in the southern side, I think. We also have a Königstiger here. I think this was the northern side. Or possibly the centre. This one might be the centre position. Picked up a half-track. A few kills, you know, nothing major. These Königstigers, you know, they didn't pay themselves off. They were still on the field, so they didn't, you know, Solo Wing Pixy didn't lose them. But they didn't really pay themselves off. It was just the pressure that those Königstigers brought down onto the field. The fact that it kind of restricted routes, especially in the southern and the northern side, for Lossa to kind of reinforce his positions. It forced Lossa to take different routes, and he almost managed to take back that southern, you know, area over the river, but did not manage it, and that Königstiger was just a key threat throughout. I think it was really important that Solo Wing Pixy brought in the SDK-7-1s in as well, and as soon as that first Typhoon came in, it just immediately got shot down. So there was no way for those Typhoons to even reach the Königstigers. This Typhoon didn't even go for the Königstiger. It went for an earlier, I think that went for the Panzer M4. So yeah, that air control was key, those anti-air units for Solo Wing Pixy. He will have a harder time now in Fate of Finland. If this game was to be replayed, AA has changed. The SDK-7-1s have been nerfed. They were too powerful. I fully support the AA changes that happened. So it is a different game now. Maybe, you know, Solo Wing Pixy might have found it a little bit harder. Maybe those Typhoons would have been able to make it through. But still, there's no guarantee against a Königstiger. They are thick boys, those Königstigers. Look at this SDK-7-1 as well. This was the one in the southern side. This was the Typhoon, sorry, that went down in the southern side. And those rifles all lost out to that SDK-7-1. Fantastic game, fantastic game. Let's have a look at the kills for Lossa, the 6-pounder, taking up a number of units. I think this was the initial push in the southern side, and all of the supporting vehicles went down, just left the infantry on their own. Rifles picking up a number of ersatz kills, and the rifles traded well, I think, against the ersatz Truppen, because although rifles, you know, they are more expensive than ersatz Truppen, And in A phase, certainly, you can get more Urzat Strupen, but over time, those rifles, I think in B and C phase, you get a lot of units of rifles. The off-map here did not quite do as much damage as you would hope with a 203mm off-map. Try Polston actually taking down a number of infantry units. And the 25 pounder did take down one of the STKF Z71. So I think, like I said, I think if Lossa had a little bit more time, I think those 25 pounders would have come into play a bit more, taking down some of the anti-air, would have allowed his Typhoons to come in and attack those Königstigers, but he did not have more time. Soloing Pixy, I think he played that game. I hesitate to say he played that game perfectly, because in A phase I was very worried about him. But certainly, I think in B phase, he just seemed to really push in exactly the right places at exactly the right time. So, fantastic job. Well played soloing Pixy. Good victory. 26 minutes, 2 seconds. Fantastic game. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that one as well. You let me know in the comments. Also, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And check out the links in the description. Please do. So, thanks very much for watching. I am Angry Bird, and I will see you in the next cast.